Hello, my nerdlings. If you're new here, my name is Nikki. Welcome to my channel where we get nerdy. So, I'm actually filming a video on the day it goes up for the first time in a long time. Usually, I've been doing like some pre-filming. And this is going to go up late because usually I upload at 8 a.m. and it's like 8:34 my time. So, it is technically Wednesday, February 13th. I actually have to film this really, really quick because I'm supposed to be remote teaching in a little bit. This is my planning period. So, yeah. But anyways, I digress. There's a crazy storm raging outside. I'm going to talk to you about the series that I just finished and what I thought of it. And that series is The Legacy of Gods. There's 2 more books after this one, but I read them on my Kindle. So just pretend. Because the paperbacks in this form aren't out yet. So, first book. We are following Killian Carson and Glendon King. So they both go to university. One of them to a UK-based, it's all in the UK. Like, we're setting in the UK. But one of the colleges is like primarily just American students, and the other one is UK students. Okay? And we have 2 groups of friends throughout this series, and it's about the different relationships that happen between the people in the different groups of friends. So Killian is American, and Glendon is British. It's their romance. Fair warning, this is very, very dark. Like, within the first 50-some pages, there's a sexual assault. So be aware. But Glendon is an art major. Killian is a business major. Glendon has 2 older brothers that she feels like an inferiority complex with because they are just better authors in her better artists in her opinion, but she's still a fantastic artist in her own right, but she just doesn't see that. And Killian trying to help her understand, like, you're still good, like, even though you don't do the same type of art as them. But also, Killian is diagnosed a psychopath. So he does not experience empathy and all those emotions. He can mimic them because that's what he's learned he needs to do to be considered like a functional human. But he's still got red flags. I'm convinced that's why this book is red, because of all the red flags. Okay? This is like a definition of, on TikTok, there was a thing going around, well, on Book Talk at least, about women saying, we like toxic men in our books, but not in real life. This is a perfect example of that toxic man that we don't want in real life. Okay? So, Killian Carson, Glendon King. After that, we have Creighton King, who is Killian's cousin, and Annika Volkov, who I don't think Annika is technically related. No, it's Creighton King is Glendon's cousin. I don't think Annika is technically related to Killian. No, they're not, but their parents are friends. So Creighton King is Glendon's cousin. He's known to be very much a grump, very quiet, very to himself. Annika is a very much extroverted social butterfly. She's the sunshine. Okay? Creighton has a very traumatic past, and it's one of those, like, the parents actually had some crossover, but they didn't know that there was crossover between the parents of Annika and Cray. And then it's just Annika trying to help him out of it. And Annika is a ballet dancer, and Creighton goes to school for business. So, because Creighton has to take over the family business. Well, he doesn't have to. His cousin Eli ends up doing it, but still. There's in the books, there's actually like a family tree thing, which I absolutely love. It made going through this series so much easier. Then after that, we have God of Wrath. This is following Cecily Knight and Jeremy Volkov. Jeremy is Annika's cousin, right? Right? Hold on. This is where there's sometimes too many people. Okay. No, brother. Okay. So Jeremy is Annika's brother, and Cecily Knight is a family friend of Glyndon and Creighton. Okay. So Cecily, her whole thing is she has this big ass crush on Landon Knight, Brandon, and Glyndon's older brother. So she does a favor for him by going to the Heathens Violent Initiation competition to get the lay of a land for a rival gang. She thinks she may be able to get away with it because she has the superpower of invisibility. She's kind of like a wallflower, right? She can slip through most situations unnoticed, but immediately she realizes her mistake. Behind enemy lines on that night, she's done the opposite, and the devil has noticed her. Jeremy Volkov really isn't the devil, but he may as well be as far as Cecily is concerned. He's not just a member of the Heathens, he's their leader and the apparent heir to the Russian Bratva, the Russian mafia in New York. And her one and only match on a adult app that matches based on your preferences, if you know what I mean, where she finally admitted her darkest desires. Now Jeremy has barged through her defenses, stalking her from the shadows and stealing her from the life she knows. He says he's out to protect her, but she knows the truth. He's out to possess, to own, to keep. And Cecily says she has no intentions of being part of his blood-soaked world, or so she thinks. This is this book contains primal kink, dubcon, and mentions of sexual assault. Jeremy Volkov is like book boyfriend number one currently. I love Jeremy Volkov. And then number 4 in that series is God of Ruin. This is following Mia Sokoloff, Jeremy's sister, and Landon, not Mia's sister. This is Mia Sokoloff is Nikolai's sister, a different character. The next book, it's his sister. Jeremy's friend's sister. And Landon King, Glyndon's oldest brother. Landon is just like Killian, no emotions. I think he's actually diagnosed with narcissistic something disorder. Not sure. I can't remember, at least. But Mia is the heiress to the mafia. And she's a selective mute because of a trauma that happened to her when she was 8. So for 10 years, she has been completely mute, and she signs. Landon is a genius artist and a posh rich boy in Mia's nightmare, and he's obsessed with her. He's never met someone with the same petulant for mischief as him, but he realizes that beneath Mia's outer hard shell, she is struggling with something too horrible to say aloud. Mia can't seem to shake Landon and find herself increasingly attached to him, despite him seemingly consistent ability to make her angry and his psychotic tendencies that always push her a bit too far. As Landon gets closer to the truth about Mia's past, danger lurks just around the corner. Mia's learned to trust Landon, but will he protect her or ruin her? in these 3 books, I hated Landon. I got to this one and I started to love Landon, especially for what he does for Mia is really, really important. And then the next book is God of Fury. It's yellow. That is following Nikolai Sokolov and Brandon King. This is Landon's twin brother, and he is the child. He's the middle child, and he's the people pleaser child. He does everything he can to make mom happy, to make dad happy. He's the peacekeeper amongst his group of friends and everything. And then Nikolai is completely fucking unhinged. Okay, like Nikolai will just fight people just because he finds fighting to be fun. He is he's unhinged. Like, I honestly think Nikolai might be more unhinged than Killian. And that's like saying something, right? Compared, since he is like the king of red flags. They have a night where Nikolai is convinced that Brandon is gay. And Brandon swears up and down he's not. But it's just, he's like, Nikolai doesn't believe him. He's like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you one bit. Judging by the way you enjoy our time together, I don't believe you. And then you find out Brandon has some trauma that he's been hiding from everybody. And some self-harm tendencies that he's been hiding. And Nikolai helps him work through that. So, and then the last book is God of War. And that is following Eli. Oh, who's Eli's sibling? Why can't I think of who Eli's sibling is? Eli King, which is Creighton, book 2's brother, and Ava Nash, which Ava is part of this friend group of the people from England, and then Eli is the one that's actually going to take over a different. No, I'm so confused. Okay, so Eli King is going to be taking over the King family business. So he's he's older than Landon, he's older than Brandon Creighton, he's the oldest of them all. And then Ava Nash is his parents' family's friend's daughter. So they grew up together. Like, his mom is Ava's godmother. So Ava's godmother is Eli's mom. So they grew up together. Ava always had a crush on Eli, had for many, many years. And she confessed to him, I think it was her 17th birthday. And he told her, no, thank you, but not politely. But then he started noticing her doing some really destructive behaviors during their time at uni. And he was protecting her. At one point, she wakes up not recalling the past 2 years of her life and finding out that she's actually married to Eli. Yep. So it's her. You spend this book trying to get her trying to figure out her memories, like what made her marry Eli, because she hated him after he rejected her when she was 17, like all of this stuff. And but then you also figure out that she has some mental health issues, that Eli is like her biggest advocate and helping her through them. So all of these books, even though they are a dark, very dark romance, they are all happy ever afters. So, yep, there's some parts where you're just like, that's rough. They're all happy ever afters. If I had to sort this series in my favorite to least favorite, God of Fury would go first. Nikolai and Brandon love their story. So it'd go Nikolai and Brandon. So God of Fury, God of Wrath, God of Ruin, God of Pain, and then God of Malice and God of War are kind of tied. No, God of War's last. I love Eli. I love him as a character. I think he's a fantastic character. He's a great book boyfriend. I hate Ava. Absolutely hate her. I hated her through the entire series. She is that spoiled little brat that the parents would not say no to. And her friends put her on this pedestal and kiss her ass, and I don't like her. So, yeah. If Ava wasn't such a pretentious douche, I would probably like their story more. But I just don't like her story because she's terrible. So God of War would go last. God of Malice would go just above it. But Nikolai and Brandon, absolutely favorite book couple I have read this year. Okay, and that's saying something considering I have read 18 books already and they're my favorite book relationship. So hit the like video if you did. Hit the like button if you did. Comment down below if you have read this series or any. My microphone died, so I had to get the other one real quick. But comment if you have read any of Rena's Kent's books and what you thought of them. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. And until next time, you are loved and you are valid.